how much some couples are willing to pay to be almost guaranteed a child with the gender of their choosing, according to Ridley 2015. My uncle was on his third girl before he decided to pay whatever it took to get a boy. So one day this could be you in the same situation or someone close to you. And deciding what stance you take on this issue is complicated and it's different for each person. So today I will try to inform you about the different options and the pros and cons so that later we can explore your stance on the issue. So first you need to know a little bit more about what gender selection is. And according to Gleicher 2018, gender selection is a fertility procedure that is used to determine gender prior to conception. And there are two techniques with this. There is sperm sorting and IVF with PGD. The first one we're going to talk about today is sperm sorting. According to Brion's 2017, prior to the insemination of the egg, sperm sorting separates the X chromosome from the Y chromosome. So basically they take a semen sample and they put it in this machine to separate it into the X and Y. And the X is a female and the Y is the male. So whichever one you want, then they'll use it in the IVF. You're choosing. And according to methods of gender selection, no date, this is about 78 to 85% effective for a boy and 73 to 75% effective to get a girl. The second type is IVF with PGD. So IVF stands for in vitro fertilization, and PGD stands for pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. According to Planned Parenthood, no date, IVF helps fertilization and embryo development and implantation. And then the PGD is basically just a test where they can remove a cell from the egg that they selected, and they use it for genetic testing, which before they transfer into the uterus, according to Advanced Fertility Clinic of Chicago 2019. And basically the PGD is just to help prevent like certain genetic disorders that are like specific to male or female. So now that you know a little bit more about gender selection, I will educate you on the pros and cons. The main pro is for the medical reasons, the X-linked disorder specifically. These are gender specific and genetic related. Stuff like hemophilia and thalassemia, those are both specific for boys. So those are something that parents wouldn't want to pass on to their child. So maybe that's an instance where they would choose to have a girl. The next reason is family balancing. This is kind of what I was talking about with my uncle earlier. He had 3 girls and he wanted a boy his whole life, so there's famous people out there like Chrissy Teigen. Her first girl was for IVF. There's rumors that Kim Kardashian did this as well. The next thing is that it will reduce the abortion rate. According to Planned Parenthood, no date, unplanned pregnancy is not the only leading cause to abortion. It's a lot of people, once they find the gender of their child, will get an abortion, and it's kind of like a cycle for them. They'll just do it until they get the gender they want. So all these reasons seem kind of logical, but others still think there are bigger issues at stake. Some of these are like it's a breach in morals and ethics. So they kind of think that parents are playing God, like you shouldn't place yourself in this situation, it's not your job kind of thing. And also it can place a psychological burden on your child. Like if you're having a boy specifically because you want a boy to grow up and play sports, or a girl because you want her to be a gymnast or something, and they don't fulfill that for you, that can take a toll on your child. And the next thing it can do is it can distort the national sex ratio, which leads to a gender imbalance. Certain countries, this is like more specific to, so like in like China, where they can only have like 1 or 2 kids, and they want like a male to carry on that last name for them. And then the next thing is that it's very expensive and you're still not 100% guaranteed to get the gender of your choosing. Okay, so now if you guys can